Hey everyone! Strap in for another bone-chilling true horror case that'll keep you up at night. Hit subscribe to support the channel, it means everything. Let's dive right in. Cases of mysterious disappearances under puzzling circumstances often spark widespread public interest and media attention. In many of these situations, clear theories are either completely lacking or remain unconfirmed despite ongoing speculation. Investigations can stay open for years, sometimes decades, as authorities hold on to the hope of finally uncovering the truth. Family members of those who go missing play a crucial role in keeping these cases alive. Their relentless efforts to discover what really happened ensure that the stories don't fade into obscurity. Sometimes the most baffling disappearances give rise to wild rumors and slowly evolve into pieces of local folklore. One such chilling case is the disappearance of a young French woman named Roxane Benest and her new acquaintance, a man of Moroccan descent named Nabil Tourougui. The two had planned what seemed to be a simple date, but they never returned. Their vanishing gripped the attention of people across Europe. Let's take a closer look at what is known about this mysterious case. Nabil Tourougui was born on January 18, 1999, in the small northeastern Moroccan town of Al Ayoun, Sidi Malouk. He was the second of 5 siblings and the only son in a modest middle-class family. His parents and 3 younger sisters still live in the same hometown. From a young age, Nabil stood out for his intelligence, seriousness, and determination. He excelled in school, especially in math and science, and dreamed of earning a college degree and moving to Europe, where he believed greater opportunities awaited him. He had all the traits of someone destined for success. He had a warm and close-knit relationship with his parents and sisters. They supported one another unconditionally and shared everything, with no secrets between them. People who knew Nabil described him as polite, calm, and genuinely kind, always ready to lend a hand. He was also known for his humility and shyness. After finishing high school, he started exploring ways to relocate to Europe to continue his education. His older sister had moved to Belgium 2 years earlier, enrolled in a university there, and later got married. She and her husband settled in the coastal town of Blankenberge, located in West Flanders. At 19, Nabil made the decision to move to France, specifically to the seaside resort town of Biarritz, nestled along the Basque coast at Pointe Saint-Martin. With a population of about 25,000, the town once attracted royalty and aristocrats seeking rest and recovery. Today, it's a hot spot for surfers from all over the world. But Nabil didn't come to Biarritz for vacation or fun. He was accepted into a prestigious engineering school without much difficulty, where he quickly earned a reputation as a hardworking and talented student. In 2021, he completed his degree and soon landed an appealing offer from a major corporation. The flexible shift schedule suited him well, allowing him to travel to Belgium to visit his sister, who was expecting her second baby at the time. Nabil settled into life in France with ease and built a wide circle of friends, though he stayed deeply connected to his family. He regularly spoke with his parents and sisters and made annual trips home during holidays. He visited his older sister most often, supported her in many ways, and even became the godfather of her child. As for Roxane Benest, she was a native of France, born and raised in the small town of Saint-Laurent-de-Quéry, located in the Charente department of the Nouvelle-Aquitaine region. She was born on February 22, 2001, the middle of 3 siblings in a humble, middle-income family. Raised alongside her older sister and younger brother, Roxane's parents did everything they could to give their family a good education and guide them toward a fulfilling future. While she wasn't a top student in school, Roxane had a big heart. She loved helping others in any way she could. Her many friends described her as kind, generous, and hardworking. She had a natural ability to connect with people and enjoyed reading, drawing, and dabbling in photography. After finishing high school, she moved to the scenic town of Le Ben and enrolled in nursing assistant courses. Soon after, she began working in a nursing home as a caregiver. Both her colleagues and the people she cared for spoke highly of her compassion, kindness, and sense of responsibility. She treated everyone with warmth and understanding. In the beginning, after moving to a new city, Roxane shared an apartment with 2 friends to split the rent and ease the financial burden. But once she found steady work and began earning a consistent income, she moved into her own place in a quiet residential complex on the outskirts of town. Roxane remained closely connected with her parents, sister, and brother. That's why she made it a point to spend weekends back at the family home whenever possible. She worked long hours and often felt exhausted. With her busy schedule, she had little opportunity to socialize beyond her co-workers and the people she cared for on the job. Her personal life took a back seat, but Roxane never complained. She believed that everything would come in due time. She maintained several social media profiles, where she kept in touch with friends, shared her interests, posted photos, and uploaded her artwork. It was on one of these platforms in January 2022 that she met a young man named Nabil. Nabil was also working tirelessly and hadn't had much time to focus on relationships. He didn't use social media often and never considered it a place to meet someone special, until he came across Roxane's profile. Her warm smile and kind energy immediately caught his attention, and he took the first step by sending her a message. Roxane accepted the friend request from the stranger and quickly found herself enjoying the connection. Their conversations were casual and light-hearted at first, but they soon discovered they had much in common, from shared interests to similar views on life. Their chats became a daily routine. They eventually exchanged phone numbers, and soon they were talking regularly, sometimes for hours. Neither of them had specific intentions in mind. They were simply enjoying each other's company. They weren't rushing into anything, preferring instead to take their time and get to know one another. During a visit to his older sister, Nabil mentioned that he'd met someone who felt like a kindred spirit, but didn't go into detail, promising to share more later. Roxane too told her sister about her new acquaintance, describing Nabil as kind, thoughtful, and intelligent. Their packed work schedules made it difficult to meet in person, even though they lived just a few dozen miles apart. But eventually their days off aligned, and they agreed to meet up at a cozy cafe. The date was February 14th, Valentine's Day. It wasn't intentional, just a coincidence. But they both took it as a good sign. Nabil and Roxane had a wonderful time together, chatting about everything from their past to their future dreams. They laughed, shared stories, and truly enjoyed each other's company. Neither was disappointed. In fact, they both felt the spark of something real, something that could grow into a meaningful relationship. They even took a photo together that day, and each posted it to their social media accounts, tagging one another. That photo would later be widely circulated by the media when their names hit the headlines, not just in France, but across Europe. In the picture, the couple looked radiant and carefree. But what they couldn't have known was that they had less than a week left to enjoy life as they knew it. Almost immediately after their first meeting, the two began discussing plans for a second date. That opportunity came sooner than expected. They scheduled it for Friday, February 18th, 2022. Both were excited and put thought into making it special, choosing a romantic setting for the evening. Roxane decided to keep her new relationship private for the time being. None of her co-workers or close friends knew she was seeing someone. She confided only in her sister, saying she thought she might be falling in love and was getting ready for a second date with a guy she'd met online. Nabil also messaged his older sister, mentioning he had plans for a date that evening. He didn't go into detail or share the girl's name, but hinted that he was hoping to introduce her to the family in the near future. That Friday turned out to be a pleasant, sunny day, all the way up until sunset. The couple was seen walking along the boardwalk, where Roxane snapped a few photos of the local scenery and posted them to her social media account. Later that evening, they were spotted sitting together at a cafe, chatting and laughing. According to witnesses, they looked relaxed and genuinely happy. But not long afterward, both vanished without a trace. The first to sense something was off was Nabil's close friend, a fellow student named Anos. Nabil had promised to stop by around 10 p.m. that night to help Anos with an engineering project tied to his final thesis. He'd said he would come by after dropping his date off at home, but he never showed up, not that night, and not the next morning. He wasn't answering messages, and any attempt to call him went straight to voicemail. His phone appeared to be switched off. This was completely out of character for Nabil. He was known for being reliable and true to his word. If something unexpected had come up, he would have let someone know. Concerned, Anos reached out to Nabil's sister. When she learned her brother hadn't made contact since the day before, she immediately got their parents involved and contacted local authorities. Meanwhile, Roxane had been scheduled to work a shift on February 19th, but she never showed up. That had never happened before. She was a dependable employee who had never even been late. Calls to her phone went unanswered and went straight to voicemail. She wasn't replying to messages on any platform. That same day, her co-workers contacted Roxane's parents and informed them she was missing. Her family rushed to Biarritz. Her older sister had a spare key to Roxane's rental apartment, but when they got there, the place was empty. All her belongings were still in place, and there were no signs of a struggle or of her having packed in a hurry. No one had heard from Roxane since the previous evening. None of her friends or colleagues had seen her or spoken to her since. All they knew was that she had gone on a date with a guy she'd met online. Not wanting to waste time, her parents filed a missing person report with the local police. Initially, the missing person reports for Nabil and Roxane were filed and processed separately, since no one could confirm exactly who each of them had gone to meet on their date. However, both families later reported that the authorities showed little urgency in handling the cases, citing that both individuals were adults entitled to privacy and not obligated to inform family members about every move they made. Faced with this lack of urgency, both families took it upon themselves to investigate and began organizing searches through social media. Roxane's sister was able to find out the name of the guy her sister had planned to meet and track down his social media profile. There, she discovered a post from his family stating that he too had gone missing and hadn't contacted anyone since Friday. At the same time, Nabil's sister managed to find Roxane online and came across photos of the two together. On Sunday, February 20th, the families of the missing couple finally got in touch with each other. At first, there was tension and mutual suspicion. Roxane's relatives worried that Nabil might have done something to harm their daughter, while Nabil's family feared that she may have led their reserved son into trouble. But soon, both sides realized they were dealing with the same heartbreaking mystery, and they joined forces to search together. The families worked tirelessly to reach out to anyone who might have known something about the couple's whereabouts. They set up groups on social media, sharing photos of the two and asking the public for any leads or tips that could help the investigation. Friends and co-workers of Roxane and Nabil joined the efforts, printing flyers and posting them around town. The flyers included unique identifying details. Roxane had several recognizable tattoos, and Nabil had a noticeable birthmark. Both of their cars had also gone missing. Nabil drove a silver Renault Clio 3, while Roxane had recently purchased a blue Peugeot. The families organized vehicle searches on their own, but those efforts turned up nothing. It wasn't until Monday morning, more than 48 hours after they had last been seen, that police began a full-scale search. Delay was explained by the theory that the young couple might have taken an impromptu weekend getaway without informing anyone. But as time passed and their phones remained off, it became clear that something was seriously wrong. Unfortunately, by then, valuable time had already been lost. Investigators confirmed that shortly before vanishing, the couple had been seen together at a fast food restaurant. There were several eyewitnesses, and surveillance cameras captured them on video. However, their cars were not found in the nearby parking lot. That area tends to be very crowded on Friday nights, so it's possible they parked farther away due to a lack of available spots. That theory was soon supported by new findings. Roxane's car was located a short distance away, parked in a small side street lot. Everything inside appeared untouched. There were no signs of struggle, no stains, and nothing visibly out of place. This led authorities to speculate that the couple had decided to continue their evening elsewhere and left in Nabil's vehicle. But where could they have gone? 2 days later, Nabil's car was found parked near the Biarritz Lighthouse, perched on a cliffside that's popular among tourists. Unfortunately, there were no surveillance cameras in that area, making it impossible to determine what time the couple arrived. The only camera that had been installed at the lighthouse itself had stopped working weeks earlier, so there were no recordings available. Inside Nabil's car, investigators found numerous belongings belonging to both Roxane and Nabil. Roxane's phone was mounted on the dashboard and set to GPS mode. Despite being fully charged, it had not been used after a certain point, allowing authorities to track the couple's exact route. On the back seat was Nabil's laptop, and on the passenger seat was Roxane's purse containing her keys, cash, and bank cards. It looked as if they had simply stepped out for a few minutes and planned to return shortly. Nothing in the car indicated foul play. No fingerprints aside from their own, no disturbances. Investigators quickly dismissed the idea of a robbery or targeted aggression. The only thing missing was Roxane's camera, which she likely brought with her to take photos that evening. Her phone eventually ran out of battery while Nabil's last phone signal was registered around 6:30 p.m., pinging from a location near the Virgin Rock viewpoint on the way to the lighthouse, which offers dramatic views of the Atlantic Ocean. That path includes several lookout terraces, built directly into the cliffside. Although the day of their disappearance started off clear, strong winds picked up by evening, developing into a full-blown storm. Along the coast, the rough weather was particularly dangerous. Waves crashed violently against the cliffs. Peak storm conditions hit around 6:30 p.m., which matched the last known phone activity from Nabil's device, placing the couple at the lighthouse at exactly that time. From the available evidence, investigators reconstructed the following scenario. After dining at a restaurant, the couple decided to spend the rest of their evening at the scenic lighthouse spot to watch the sunset. Roxane, who loved photography, brought her camera to capture the view. As they stood at one of the lookout points, weather conditions worsened rapidly. When they tried to return to the car, massive waves struck the cliffs, and one may have swept them away. Almost everything seems to support this version of events. Because of that, law enforcement initially concluded that there had been no criminal element involved and considered closing the case without further investigation. They even floated a secondary theory that the couple might have voluntarily ended their lives together. This explanation would also remove the need for extended inquiries, and case materials could be archived. But the families of Roxane and Nabil strongly opposed this. The families of Nabil Tourougui and Roxane Benest demanded that the investigation remain open. Since no remains had been found, there was still hope that the young couple might be alive and in need of help. Roxane's sister found a notebook in her apartment that contained passwords to her social media accounts. After gaining access and reviewing all of her recent conversations, nothing alarming or suspicious was discovered. It turned out that Roxane had been messaging almost exclusively with Nabil. Their relationship was warm and respectful, with both of them clearly excited about seeing each other. They planned their dates in detail and showed genuine care. There was no indication that either of them would have considered ending their lives. Law enforcement maintained that all possibilities remained open until Nabil and Roxane were found, alive or not. One theory suggested that the couple might have chosen to disappear on their own. However, both families firmly rejected this idea. Since the day they went missing, neither of them used their bank cards, accessed emails, logged into social media, or activated any of their devices. Nabil's family, who had lived in a region known for safety concerns, believed that the couple might have been taken against their will. What stood out to them was how their personal belongings had been left in the car in plain sight, almost as if the couple had only stepped away briefly. They feared that someone may have lured them out with a seemingly harmless request and then taken them. To support their own efforts, Nabil's parents hired a private investigator. They considered the possibility that someone might be holding their son and his companion somewhere and waiting to make demands. However, no such communication was ever received. Meanwhile, Roxane's family leaned more toward the official theory that the couple had been caught in a tragic accident. There had been previous incidents at the same cliff near the Lighthouse, where tourists were swept away by rough waves. Still, Roxane's relatives insisted that the couple couldn't be declared deceased until their remains were recovered. Due to the ongoing storm, search efforts at sea were limited to helicopters and drones. It was too dangerous to send in boats or divers. By the time the weather calmed down, too much time had passed, and no trace of the couple could be found. More than 3 years have passed since the couple's disappearance, yet the case remains open. The search radius was eventually expanded beyond nearby towns to include neighboring European countries where remains might have surfaced under specific conditions. At first, the search focused on physical descriptions, but later, both families submitted DNA samples to aid identification if unidentified remains were found anywhere. Despite these efforts, no trace of Nabil or Roxane has been uncovered. Both families have repeatedly voiced frustration over what they see as the police's lack of urgency. From the very start, investigators appeared convinced that the couple had drowned and made minimal effort to pursue alternative explanations, forcing relatives to take matters into their own hands. Months later, it was discovered that a small hotel near the Lighthouse had a surveillance camera capturing part of the path leading to the lookout point. That footage might have shown whether Nabil and Roxane actually passed that way. Unfortunately, no one ever requested the recordings, and the files were automatically deleted after 30 days. Perhaps the most disturbing part is that after all this time, neither the couple's bodies nor any of the belongings they had on them, like Roxane's camera, have been found. For years now, the families have reached out to agencies across Spain, the UK, and other countries, inquiring about unidentified remains. Nabil's loved ones still believe that he may be alive, unable to reach out because he is being held somewhere. Both families continue to push to keep the case open. They share the story through media outlets, bloggers, and influencers, hoping that someday, someone will come forward with the truth about what happened to Roxane and Nabil on February 18th, 2022.
Thanks for watching! Smash that like button, drop a comment, and share to help grow the channel. Your support means the world. Catch you next time!